What is going on, everybody? Chimp Choke MMA here, coming back with another video, and today we are going to be doing another tier list. We are going to be doing a strike tier list, and notice how I said strike, not strikers. You will see MMA fighters on the screen, but we are not ranking them. This is just a placeholder for the strike itself. Maybe they're known for the strike or whatever. Maybe I didn't even have a picture for some of the strikes that I could think of, so it's just somebody random there. But anyways, without further ado, let's get right into this tier list. First strike we got. Here's the thing about teeps, you guys. The teep is arguably one of the best strikes in MMA. It doesn't do that much damage, but it's good for keeping your opponent away, especially if you're like a taller, rangier fighter. It's very useful. Like I said, you're not getting the craziest amount of damage, but it's almost like a jab for kicks. Like you're not really trying to get damage out of it. You're just trying to keep them away and find your range for other kicks, pretty much. But the only reason that I have it in A tier and not S tier is because you can't really use the teep to really set up that many other strikes. It doesn't really chain into anything too well, and you kind of leave yourself open for takedowns whenever you bring the teep back. If you're using like a rear teep, I use rear teeps a lot, so maybe like a lead teep would be better, but like I said, you're not doing too much damage with this. You can't really chain it into too much because it's kind of one of the more awkward strikes to hit. But there are different variations of this. I'm including like the oblique kick and stuff like that in this, and obviously the oblique kick can do a lot of damage, but it's not really used as much in MMA unless you're John Jones. But yeah, like I said, even the oblique kick, like, it doesn't really chain into much else. You kind of just hit it and then you bring it back, if you get what I'm saying. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got for the teep. So moving on, we got, hey guys, yeah, so I got like pretty much clinch knee strikes here. Not like out in the open knees, just like mainly like clinch ones. And the reason why I have Marab here is because of those fucking ugly ass knees that he was doing to Sean O'Malley in that last fight. I probably could have included like Islam or something for this, but like I said, a lot of these pictures won't make sense, I promise you. But yeah, clinch knees, you know, obviously can do some damage, especially if you get them in like a tie plumb position. They can do a lot more damage. If you're doing them to the side, they won't do as much, but you could like knock someone out with this if you get, like I said, if you get them in a tie plumb. And it's good to just get some damage while you're in the clinch. Also, if you're just getting fucking smudged up against the fence. No Batista, but yeah, it's B tier because you're only really gonna use this if you were in the clinch. Like I said, you're not really gonna use this too much out in the open unless you're hitting flying knees, but I included flying knees in a completely as a completely different strike. So you're not really using this too much when you're at range or anything like that. Mainly just going to use this while you're in the clinch. Like I said, very damaging, but it's more specific to what position you're in. You can't really use, it's not like a catch-all technique like a jab or something like that. So moving on, we got something very similar. We got elbows, and oh, hold on. Yeah, sorry about that. Anyways, we got elbows, and you know, elbows is a very similar thing. Elbows can do a lot of damage. Like, you can slice someone's head open with a slashing elbow or something like that. You got spinning elbows, which can knock someone out. But like I said, you're really only using this if you're in the clinch or if you're in ground and pound. It's actually very good when you're ground and pounding. But other than that, if you're not John Jones, you're not really using elbows all too much. And plus, I kind of hate it too, because like when you spar at gyms, they don't really allow you to throw elbows and knees, which I understand because they can be very damaging. But like even if you're holding, or if you have like elbow pads or knee pads on, like nobody's really throwing too many elbows, and I feel like that's bad because I mean they're allowed in MMA fights, and you're not really creating the muscle memory for when you go to actually fight. So when you see these MMA fighters, they're not throwing too many knees or too many elbows because they don't do it in sparring. They're not creating the muscle memory for it. And that's why John Jones always dominates people in positions like that, is because he trains with elbows and he knows other people haven't. So, like I said, unless you're John Jones, you're not really pulling this off too well unless you're in the clinch. Or in a ground and pound scenario. So that's why it's B tier. Like I said, very, very damaging strikes. Probably the elbows and knees probably are some of the most damaging strikes, period. But you're not really gonna hit them too much outside of the clinch. So elbows, B tier. And next we got our first F tier candidate. We got the tornado kick. And I mean, do I even really need to explain why this is F tier? You're probably never gonna hit a tornado kick in a fight. And not only that, I just feel like I've done tornado kicks on the bag before and stuff like that. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I just feel like it's not really that much powerful than like a standard roundhouse kick. You know what I'm saying? And it's sort of just like one of those flashier kicks that looks cool, and like if you can knock someone out with it, it looks dope, right? Like everybody wants to learn how to do a tornado kick. It looks cool as fuck. Everybody knows that. But it's just not really practical in MMA. Like, good fucking luck hitting this. I've hit this like maybe twice in sparring, and I don't think that you're doing too much damage with it, even if you do hit it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just too big of a risk to do it. So I think it's pretty obvious. Tornado kick in the F tier. And next we got our first S tier, and we got the jab. Fucking getting calls and shit in the middle. I gotta remember to put my shit on airplane mode. Sorry about that. Anyways, I mean, this one doesn't really need that much explanation either. The jab, I mean, you're always fucking throwing the jab. You're not gonna knock someone out with a jab, obviously. It has been done before, which is kind of hilarious, but the jab is literally the most useful strike in MMA. Like, hands down, it's the best legal strike, I'll say. But it's easily up there. I mean, every combination, you start with a jab. It's the first thing that you learn when you walk into an MMA gym is the fucking jab. So I feel like I really don't need to explain this one all that much, because it's literally the most basic technique. It does a bit of damage. It's not gonna knock someone out, but it does do damage, and it accumulates over time, you know? And it's used to set up everything. It sets up so well into everything. It chains into so many techniques. You can jab into a double leg. You can jab into a kick. You can 1-2. Like I said, it sets up everything in MMA. So jab, S tier. Moving on, we got the spinning back fist. And you know, I don't really think spinning back fist is actually all that bad. It's definitely not B tier, but it can do some damage. It can knock someone out. If you catch someone if you catch someone off guard, you can knock someone out with the spinning back fist. But the thing is that it's just like one of those fucking haymakers that you throw whenever you just want to catch someone off guard, right? Like, you're not really gonna hit this one all that much, but you can knock someone out with it. You can do quite a bit of damage with this, but I just can't put it higher than C tier. And I think you guys can understand why. The spinning back fist, I do like this, using the spinning back fist, but like I said, you're not gonna hit this one that much. But if you do, you can do damage with it. So moving on, we got the hammer fist, and I guess we can lump this in with like ground and pound and stuff like that. Ground and pound, very important in MMA. I'm not gonna deny that. You know what? Maybe this should be B tier, but the only reason why I put it in C tier is because let's see. So if you take into account like elbows on the ground or whatever, you can knock someone down, or you can knock someone out with elbows and the on the ground. So I would say that elbows. I mainly did this one in particular for hammer fists. So you're not really knocking someone out with hammer fist or anything like that. You're not really doing too much damage. Honestly, an elbow would probably be better if you're in ground and pound. Just because you're gonna do way more damage than a hammer fist. And I just feel like hammer fists are they're way easier to defend than an elbow or something like that. But you know, it is there. It's almost like a jab on the ground, I guess, just to keep the damage going. Whenever keep the points up while you're on the ground. But the only reason why it's C tier is obviously because it's pretty niche. You have to be on the ground to really use a hammer fist. And I just think elbows are better when you're on the ground. So I don't think it really needs more explanation than that. So we'll move on to our first D tier. And we got the front kick, or I guess the snap kick. And I just don't think this one's used to. Like, obviously Anderson Silva had a crazy front kick and snap kick, but you just don't really see this too much in MMA anymore. Honestly, you don't really see it too much back then either. So it's not, it doesn't work that much, but I guess you can knock someone out with it, because I mean, we saw Tony Ferguson get sent to the fucking Shadow Realm by Michael Chandler with this kick. But I mean, very rare does someone knock someone someone out with a snap kick in MMA. It's just, I feel like there's so many better options, like a head kick or something like that. And yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at with it. It's not used enough in MMA for me to justifyingly put it higher. So next, and this is kind of a weird picture, but we got another F tier. You know, Wiz Khalifa got really into Muay Thai recently. Oh, Snoop's in very good shape. I don't know if you guys have ever seen that fucking YouTube short with Joe Rogan, but that shit lives in my head rent free, bro. Snoop Dogg doing a fucking flying kick, and that's what we're doing. That's the one that we're doing right now, is the flying kick, man. Flying kick is obviously F tier. Do you ever see this shit in MMA? And when you do you ever see someone get like actually damaged with this shit? It's like some kung fu shit, some shit that you'd see in fucking Karate Kid, bro. Like, I really don't think it needs any more explanation than that. The fucking flying kick, bro, you're not gonna do any damage with this kick. So, moving on, we got the question mark kick. And you know, I really do like the question mark kick. I use the question mark kick a lot in my game, mainly because I throw a lot of teeps, and usually I'll fake a teep and go for a question mark kick. But I'm gonna be honest, I rarely hit this kick, and it is a good kick to catch someone off guard and stuff like that, and there's like a lot more whip to it, I guess. But it is pretty niche. You're not gonna see a whole lot of fighters use it, besides like longer fighters like Israel Adesanya, and even then, like, you really don't see it that much. I just think that, like I said, for a lot of these kicks, I just feel like something simple like a roundhouse is just so much better, you know? So I really don't think that you know, maybe I'll get a lot of hate for this, not putting it in like C tier or something, because it can do damage, but it's just another one of those flashy kicks, man. So moving on. Yeah, you already fucking know, bro. You already fucking know. Who started the calf kick anyways? Benson Henderson. Joe Rogan was dead fucking ass. He was not playing around when he was talking around about that calf kick with Ilya Topuria, man. He fucking snapped on that shit in fucking 0.01 milliseconds, bro. Bro. But I ain't gonna lie, as much as Joe Rogan glazes the calf kick, man, you can't deny. And I'm not just talking about the calf kick, I'm just talking about low kicks in general. Honestly, dude, I actually think, I mean, it's probably, nah, I think low kick's better than the jab, bro. Like, maybe the low kick doesn't set up as much as the jab does, but the low kick does a fuck ton of damage, and it's so low risk. Like, bro, if you're just spamming low kicks the whole fight, that fucking hurts, bro. I remember when I first, like, started getting low kicked, like, for real, because my first gym wasn't that great. Like, we didn't have that many strikers at our gym, and they wouldn't really low kick that much. But then when I moved on to my current gym, they low kicked all the fucking time, and I remember I wasn't used to it, right? And I would just get, motherfuckers would just spam my front leg, just spam low kicks, and like by the time I left, I could barely even fucking walk, bro. And I would have to switch to southpaw and shit like that. And it's just such a low risk kick. Like, I mean, there's nothing you can really do to counter a good low kick, right? I mean, I guess you could like sweep the supporting leg and stuff like that, but generally most of the time it's pretty hard to do. Really, the only thing that you can do is just eat it most of the time. Like, you can try and catch it or check it or something like that, but it's a lot harder to do that stuff when it's lower to the ground, right? And like a calf kick, right? You're not gonna catch a calf kick. You might be able to catch a thigh kick, but it's just a hard thing to do, man. It does do so much damage for the amount of risk that you have to take to do it. Like, and it does chain into other things too. Like, if I miss a low kick or something like that, or even if I hit it, I'll just throw like a same side punch. So if I throw like a left low kick, I'll throw a jab. If I throw a right low kick, I'll chain it into like a cross or something like that. So I feel like it does chain into other techniques pretty well. And a lot of the times you can start feinting your low kicks because, God, I'm getting off topic. But anyways, the low kick, I mean, obviously one of the best strikes in MMA. Joe Rogan glazes it way too much. And I mean, you could hit one low kick and Joe Rogan will be like, that leg is compromised. Like, everybody knows it. Everybody knows this, but I mean, the fucking low kick, dude, it's easily one of the best strikes in MMA. Like, you got to give it to. You got to at least give that to him. So, moving on, we got the uppercut. And you know, uppercut is one of your most powerful boxing strikes. But you kind of have to set this one up, and you're not really going to hit it as much as like a jab or a cross, obviously, or even a hook. And I just feel like whenever you do an uppercut, it doesn't really chain into too much also. But if you do hit someone with a good uppercut right on the chin, yeah, they're going to sleep. But the only reason why it's in B tier is just because you kind of have to set this one up, and it doesn't really chain into much, you know. So, but I guess that leads me to my next point, the hook. And fuck, man, keeps doing that. No, the hook, bro, the hook is I personally think that the hook is better than the uppercut, because the hook, I feel like maybe it has a little bit less power on it, right? But the hook, it's still like if you catch someone on the chin with a hook, you're obviously gonna knock you're gonna knock someone out. And I mean, you could do a check hook and stuff like that. It's also it's like pretty good built-in defense mechanisms whenever you use it, right? Because especially when you're throwing like a lead hook and stuff like that. I feel like the lead hook is way more useful in MMA than like a rear hook, whereas like I feel like I don't know why, but like a rear hook is like more popular in boxing than it is in MMA. But yeah, I mean, I feel like it just goes without saying, like, you can chain your lead hook into like a lot of things. Like you could throw a hook and then throw a cross right after or something like that, or like a check hook and then a cross or something like that. So I just feel like the hook is just better. I mean, maybe it has a little bit less power than an uppercut, but I feel like the trade-off of just like having it chain into other things, and you know, you can like catch someone pretty off guard with this and not really need much setup, or as much setup as you would need for like an uppercut, if that makes sense. So I just feel like the trade-offs just make it better, you know. So moving on, we got spinning back kick. And you know, spinning back kick is a very good strike, but there are very few MMA fighters who actually implement this pretty well. I think Max Holloway is one of them. John Jones is another one. I just couldn't use John Jones for two of them, so I chose Max Holloway. Listen, I just don't think that there are very many MMA fighters that can implement this very well, you know. So for that reason, it's C tier, but it is a very good strike. It is a very good strike. You can catch someone circling whenever you throw a spinning back kick, but it does take some risk, right? Because after all, you are turning your back and stuff like that. But if you can do a spinning back kick right and hit someone in the liver, like Jones did to Stipe, I mean, that fight was dumb, but like, if you do hit him right in the liver like that, you like, yeah, that's gonna fucking hurt, dude. Or like, you know, Max Holloway, he hit like the deciding factor of that Justin Gaethje fight was that spinning back kick that he hit him in the nose with, broke his nose. So it is a very good strike, but I just can't put it higher than C because you do have to take some risk by turning your back. So moving on, we got Superman punch. And you know, back in the day, I would have said like Superman punch was C or maybe even like B, honestly. Superman punch, I do use Superman punch a lot also, but I just feel like it's kind of been figured out, and it's like pretty, unless you're GSP and like you're really explosive, like it's pretty easily, like you can pretty easily dodge it. I do like the combo that GSP would use where he would throw a Superman jab and then chain it into like a low kick. I think that was a pretty cool technique, but it's just been pretty figured out in MMA at this point, and I don't think that it's as good as it once was when GSP first started using it. So moving on, head kick. And yeah, so head kick, obviously a lot of power, you know. It's one of the easier kicks to learn. But you generally, I mean, there are a lot of KOs with head kicks, but I don't really, dude, I don't want to say I don't really see them anymore, but I do feel like they are kind of easy to block. Like I feel like not a whole lot of fighters are flexible enough to throw like a really good head kick. Like, I mean, obviously Leon Edwards fluked that head kick on fucking Kamaru Usman. We got Volk. Volk has a really good fucking head kick. And but in fights I see guys like they block this pretty easily. So and it does take a lot of risk to throw your, or not really a lot of risk, but I would say it's honestly less risky than the body kick. But I think that the head kick, dude, I don't know. I'm starting to rethink this one. Because what I'm saying, I just feel like isn't making too much sense. I don't know, dude. Let me know if you guys disagree, but I just feel like the head kick is like it's pretty easy to block. Like I just see too many people blocking it in MMA for me to put it in A tier. There are some people with really good head kicks, but I just don't think that it's like you pretty much have to catch someone doing like some crazy head movement or something like that in order to KO them with it. And like if you're going for a head kick, I'm gonna be honest, the only reason why you're going for a head kick is to KO them. You're not really using them to accumulate damage or anything like that. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the head kick. I'm not gonna go any further on that. Fuck, dude, I don't know. Let's just move on. All right. So next we got the spinning hook kick, and like I said, it's another one of those kicks that's just like really flashy, and like you get like a crazy reaction if you actually KO someone with it. The only people that really like are pulling this off are like some crazy karate guys, and then you got like fucking Conor McGregor, Mauricio Rufy, and stuff like that. They can pull off some pretty cool KOs with the spinning hook kick, but you have to be pretty experienced in like some karate or like some fucking taekwondo or some shit like that in order to hit this. And it's just like I said, these flashy kicks, man, like you're probably not gonna hit them. So yeah. All right, moving on. Listen, dude, I'm gonna break this little individual's face. The flying knee, and I guess I could put like Corey Sandhagen or something for this, but flying knee, you can knock someone out with this, but you know, they really have to be like ducking low, or like you have to like predict a takedown or something like that in order to really knock someone out with a flying knee. Like, I sound like a fucking broken record, bro, but like you just don't see this getting hit that much in MMA, unless you're fucking Jorge Masvidal going against butt sniffer Ben Askren, man. Or I mean, you got Corey Sandhagen spamming flying knees over here. If you need proof that this really isn't hit that much in MMA, just watch a Corey Sandhagen fight. Watch him spam flying knees and hit about as many of them as Dustin Poirier hits a guillotine. So yeah, I just feel like that doesn't really need that much elaboration. You know, it's still a very good strike. You can knock someone out with it, but you really have to get them while they're ducking pretty low. And it's just another one of those flashy techniques, man. Flashy, man. Sound like a broken fucking record. Anyways, moving on. We got the cross. And also, I'm going to include overhand right in here. That's why I have this picture of Josh Emmett spamming fucking overhand rights. And obviously, overhand cross, whatever you want to call it. But you know, cross, it's not as good as the jab, obviously, because you need to set up a jab first in order to hit a cross. But you have a lot of KO power in this, especially if you're like a shorter, more explosive fighter. You have a lot of power in this. If you hit an overhand, you can knock someone out cold easily with an overhand right. And I feel like it's pretty easy to catch someone off guard with this, especially longer fighters. This is one of the ones that I get hit with the most because I'm a longer, taller fighter. I get hit with this all the time because shorter fighters, they'll just duck down and throw their overhand, stuff like that. So I feel like this is a very good strike, especially for more explosive fighters, you know. Whereas because I'm taller, I'm not really getting as much damage out of this one, because I'm not as explosive as these guys. But I feel like cross goes without saying. It's got to be A tier. Only reason it's not S tier is because you do need to set it up with something like a jab or something like that. You can't just be spamming overhands or spamming crosses out here, because I mean, look at Josh Emmett. That's what Josh Emmett does. He just spams the cross button on the controller until he fucking hits one, swinging for the fucking bleachers, bro. It's like, you do need to set this one up, so I'll put it A tier. You know, it's a good, obviously very good strike. One of the first strikes that you learn also, but you need to set it up with a jab first before you hit it. So, moving on, we got the body kick, and you know, I was considering putting this C tier, and I know I would have gotten a lot of hate for that, but that's another reason why I moved it to B tier. So I don't use body kicks a lot because I feel like body kicks are very easy to catch. Like, I feel like if you're hitting a body kick, it is pretty easy to catch and take you down off of that. If I think it's closed stance, where you guys are in the same stance, like if you guys are both orthodox or you guys are both southpaw. But if you're in open stance, these body kicks become so much better. You can hit, and you can hit the liver also if you're in open stance. So I do feel like body kicks are really good if you're like a southpaw or something like that. But I don't really see, maybe my body kick just sucks, but I think that this is just too easy to catch, like if you're in close stance, you know what I'm saying? But you can wear the arms down a lot if you're just spamming body kicks. You can wear the arms down, open up the head, and then go for like a head kick or something like that. So I do feel like a body kick, you know, I feel like a body kick does deserve to be in B tier, but I can't put it higher just because I feel like it's too easy to catch. So yeah, moving on, we got, oh, I forgot what this one was for a second. The jumping switch kick, alright? You saw that fucking ninja kick that Anthony Pettis hit on Benson Henderson. That's the only reason why I have him here. I don't know if I've actually ever seen him do a jumping switch kick before, but excuse me. I do like this kick. I use this one quite a bit also. It's just another one of those flashy kicks, man. Fucking taekwondo shit. It's just better to go for a regular switch kick, man, if I'm being honest. Unless you want some crazy highlight reel KO, it's better to just go for a regular switch kick. So moving on, trying to wrap this shit up, man. Almost 30 minutes in. What did I put for wonder? Oh yeah, side kick, man. Side kicks are very, very underrated. I feel like side kicks should be utilized more. It's like a teep, but it's stronger, man. I just feel like the only reason why it's C tier is because you don't really see it that much in MMA, unless like these taekwondo guys or something like that. But it's like a more powerful version of a teep. Also, it kind of requires some awkward like hip motion that you sort of need to like master before you can actually go into a real fight and do like a side kick. But you know, side kick's very underrated. I feel like a lot of people sleep on the side kick. You can cover a lot of distance with this too. I think it's like your longest strike. Like, I mean, obviously it's longer than the teep, and the teep, people say the teep is like your longest strike. So I feel like if you have a really good side kick, you can catch someone like really off guard with it, and you can do a lot of damage. Unlike a teep, like you can do some damage with a teep, but you can do a lot of damage with a side kick, right? So I do have a C tier because you don't really see it that much. You don't really have that many people that actually know how to throw like a proper side kick, but it is a very underrated technique, man. A very underrated technique. So moving on, we got the cartwheel kick, man. again, just a flashy technique. I think there was like one fight ever in the UFC where someone threw a fucking cartwheel kick, man. Dude, I don't even see why you'd throw this in Muay Thai, honestly. But you got people like Senchai. Senchai does throw a lot of cartwheel kicks, but man, just throw something out. Just throw like a regular roundhouse kick, okay, man? Like, just throw a roundhouse, and then okay. So moving on, we got our last F tier. The crane kick. This is literally some karate. This literally came from Karate Kick, man. And it's literally just like a jumping snap kick, like a jumping switch snap kick. Fuck, I keep doing that. Sorry. But yeah, man, just another flashy kick. Another flashy kick, man. Like Lyoto Machida, he did hit this, man. He did KO someone with this, and that was pretty impressive. But honestly, just throw a snap kick, man. You ain't gotta fucking jump up and do it. Just throw a fucking snap kick. You probably have a better chance of KOing someone with just a regular snap kick. So, and last we got our best strike ever. Okay, this one's top of the top of S tier. All right. We got eye pokes. Eye pokes. We got fucking eye pokes, man. Okay, so y'all are gonna call me fucking crazy, bro. Because oh yeah, chimp choke, aren't eye pokes illegal in MMA? I mean, yeah, kind of, but like, are they, bro? Dude, look at every fucking fight with eye pokes, man. Name one fight with eye pokes where someone has actually gotten like seriously penalized. Almost every fight with eye pokes, the person that eye poked, that was eye poking, has like won the fight. I mean, look at fucking John Jones fights, right? I mean, obviously you got Chris Weidman fucking spamming eye pokes over here. And the most recent example of this, Song Yadong versus Henry Cejudo, man. Song Yadong won that fight and he fucked up Henry Cejudo's eye. Look, I know that it's illegal, man, but as long as the refs aren't fucking... I'm not encouraging this behavior whatsoever, but as long as the refs aren't penalizing this, I mean, we just gotta count this as a real strike, man. Motherfuckers are actually throwing this shit. Not giving a shit about the rules, man. Throwing fucking eye pokes. And name, I challenge you, name one fight where these motherfuckers have been penalized. Like, actually seriously penalized and like not, like, lost the fight. You know, maybe like you could make the argument that, oh, they're doing it by accident, like they only throw like one or two the whole fight, but that's all you need to hit, bro. You just need to hit one or two eye pokes. And dude, they're fucked. They can't see you. So, I mean, that's all I got for the video, man. Let me know what you guys think below. Do you agree? Do you disagree with these? And fuck, dude, I'm tired. I'm mentally drained. I'm a fucking... That was a long-ass video, man. I did not expect it to be that long. But anyways, sorry if I sounded like a broken record in this video. But, yeah, I'll talk to y'all later. See ya.